Alright, welcome to Mashiach Shir, Parshas Vayechi. Quick trivia question. Mashiach Shir trivia question. How many times in the Torah does it mention, in the Chumash, does it mention Mashiach?
The word Mashiach?
Not the word. It
About
talks about
idea?
Mashiach. What?
About Mashiach.
Yeah.
Even as a remez?
Any, come on, we don't have, we only have like
It's
minutes.
all over the place.
In Chumash.
Bilam.
Where? Bilam, what?
Bilam.
Okay, there's one. Yeah, so we haven't heard all over the place. Where?
When it's
Ari Miklat, it's like, are you saying it proves out Mashiach, basically? Talking about Ari Miklat, the fact that we know there are three.
Okay, in the future there's going to be more. What?
This week's Parsha.
This week's Parsha.
Yeah,
Where? Yeah. Yaakov tries to reveal the end, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's so for three, not
Come
everyone.
on, guys. You guys all learned this week's Parsha.
Oh, by Esav when they wanted
five.
to.
That's like kind of a hint. We're not
gotta
getting
be
like
five.
more like explicit. What?
5, right?
5? I don't know.
Oz
We said
Yosh
3
Moshe?
so far. What?
Oz Yosh Moshe.
Oz Yosh. Okay,
Yeah,
these
Oz
are all
Yosh.
like hints. That's like
Oz
that's
Yosh.
like maybe he's talking about that. Maybe he's talking about something else.
Oh.
Maybe he just decided to sing. That's also pshat that Rashi does. Okay, and there's one more I think is Vishav Hashem Elokecha. As we say it every morning. Vishav Hashem- right, is that Hashem's going to return your captives. Right. So there are 3 proofs that the Rambam brings from the Chumash for Mashiach. He says Ari Miklat in Parshas Balak, where he mentions 2 Mashiachs, and Vishav Hashem Elokecha Shivuscha. Okay, and here's also it's actually very rare in Chumash. In Nevi'im it's all over the place, but in Chumash it's very rare. So here's one of the other very few places it mentions it. It's that Yaakov, it says V'yikra Yaakov abanu v'yomer Ya'asu v'agidu lechem es asher yikra eschem me'achras yamim. He said, he called over his children and he said, come over here and I'm going to tell you what's going to happen to you at the end of days. So Rashi says he was about to tell them when the Kates was going to be. He tried to tell them when the end of days was going to happen. And the Shekhinah left them and he didn't tell them. He was going to tell them when the Kates was going to happen, the Shekhinah left them and he didn't tell them. So the question the Rebbe asks is, in the Sikha, why was Yaakov trying to tell them when the Mashiach was going to come? Like, what purpose is it going to have? He says, Adarabah. It's good. What's going to happen if he tells them when Mashiach is going to come? When does Mashiach come?
We want it.
Okay, but he hasn't come so far, right?
Right.
He's coming. It's not going to be for thousands of years,
Right.
right? So if he tells them it's going to be in a few thousand years, I'm just letting you know when Mashiach is going to come. What do you think that's going to do to them?
They're going to be like,
They want to
You know,
do
who's
the
there?
They're going to give up.
Yeah.
So we have to figure out. Obviously, Yaakov wasn't just telling them stam. Like, I want to tell you some history details. Like, also I'm going to tell you when Mashiach is coming. There also has to be a reason why Hashem held it back from him. It seems Hashem made a very strong reason. They're going to all give up. It's going to be thousands of years. So what was Yaakov thinking in the first place? That he wanted to reveal Mashiach. When Mashiach was coming. So the Rebbe explains that really we thought that when was Yaakov trying to reveal the Kates to them? When was he saying the Kates is? Not for thousands of years. Right? So the Rebbe says, maybe we can say that Yaakov was really talking about, he wanted to reveal to them when the end would be. The Zohar says, if the Jews were meritorious, ilu zachu, when would Mashiach
as soon as they get to
come?
Eretz Yisrael, right?
Yeah, when they left Yitzias Mitzrayim, that Geula would have been forever.
We've been in, yeah.
Right? If they were meritorious, then that Geula of Yitzias Mitzrayim would have been forever. And that was how long from when Yaakov was speaking to his children? Was leaving Egypt.
all the 230.
210.
210, right? 210 years. So from when they went into Egypt, it was only 210 years afterwards that they were leaving. So that's a reasonable time. And we also see that how long was it supposed to be? Golus Mitzrayim. 400 years, right? So since it was really bad, say the commentator, since it was really hard in Golus Mitzrayim, so therefore it was shortened. So it also makes sense. If they were good, then they're going to get Mashiach. Also, if they're good, they're going to bring it closer. 210 years, maybe 100 years, maybe 50 years, whatever, closer.
Yeah.
Right? So what was Yaakov trying to do? He's trying to tell them, look, you have hope. It's close. And how is it close? Only if Ilu Zachu. If you're meritorious, right. So he's telling them something that's going to cause them to have a lot of strength in their avoda. Is they're going to know, if I do this, it's going to have a concrete effect that Mashiach is going to come sooner. And he's going to come. Taka. Yitzias Mitzrayim. That's going to be it. So the question then is the other way now. So now before, a question was on who? On Hashem or on Yaakov?
On Yaakov, right?
You everyone agree?
Why was he trying to tell him the first one?
Right. Hashem we understood because it was thousands of years.
Right.
So what was Yaakov thinking? So our question was in Yaakov. What was Yaakov thinking? So then, now though, our question, and once the Rebbe explains it, once the Rebbe explains what Yaakov was trying to do, he was trying to give them a help in their avoda because it was Yitzias Mitzrayim and they could have made it sooner. So they would have tried to be Zachu. They would have tried to be meritorious. So our question now is no. Yaakov or Hashem?
Hashem.
Hashem, right? What was Hashem thinking that he didn't want him to reveal? He stopped him. So on this, the Rebbe explains that there are two types of help from Hashem. So, short Hakdama question, whatever, is how much of our voda do we have Hashem's help? Like with percentages, like 50%, like 75%, 25%. How much of our voda is helped by Hashem?
Gotta be more than 50.
100%.
Like, yeah.
It's probably more than 50. Yeah. Huh?
You said, huh?
99.
Okay, Yeshua is the only one that here is putting himself on the line because he's the only one that said anything
I mean,
concrete.
in a sense, it's 100%, but of course we put a part in it, a large part. But the Abishter is all,
Who are we?
all existence.
Yeah, it's like 100.
I'll go 50%.
99.
Oh, okay, thank
Exactly.
you. Somebody find 150%. What?
0%.
Okay, so we have like 1% total. Right, yeah. It's all correct. It depends. It kind of depends what we're saying, what we're talking about here. But we have a statement from Chazal that says pretty much 100%, which is Ilu Hakadosh Baruch Ilmale Hakadosh Baruch Hu Osro. If it weren't for Hashem helping, Ein Yachalo, we couldn't beat the Yetzer Hara. It'd be impossible. Think about all the taivas. I mean, don't think too hard. But if we didn't have Hashem on our side, like there would be no chance. Right? So he says that Hashem is helping us all the time, but it can come in one of two ways. The two ways are, for example, that a person goes to a Farbrengen and they get very inspired. So the next day they decide to learn the Gemara Baal Peh for the rest of the week, or something like that. They're like, wow, I love Hashem. The Farbrengen made me want to learn, like just think about nothing else except Torah. I'm going to learn Gemara. Okay, so when was the help from Hashem? While they're learning Gemara or before? Right, they had an inspiration, that was the beginning, and there was the boost, and afterwards they learned. So, but there's also another kind, which is, for example, he says on Shabbos, is that on Shabbos, everything a Jew does is helped by Hashem all the time. It's an Eis Ratzon. Every time there's an Eis Ratzon, it means that Hashem's always giving you help. And anything you do is like special on Shabbos. And on Yom Tov. So he says, there's a Maila to the first way. There's Hashem helps at the beginning, there's inspiration, there's a Farbrengen, and then afterwards you do it on your own. Is the actual avoda, while you're working, the other 50% or whatever, even though you had help, you always have help, but while you're actually working, it comes from you. So let me ask you, which of these two types is what Yaakov wanted for his children? He wanted to reveal the case. He wanted to reveal the end. So if he revealed the end, what was going to happen?
It's going to be before.
They'd be motivated, right? They'd be motivated. They're going to have a big motivation because they know everything I do is going to bring it closer. So which way is it? Is it the type that is a boost at the beginning and then you work on your own? Or is it a type that's constant, that's like Shabbos, that it's always helping throughout the avodah?
The former.
The help at the beginning. Yeah, everyone agree?
Yeah.
And you may say it's second though. It's constant. They cannot always tap into that. It's always giving them motivation.
Okay. Are you saying that for sure, or you're saying like?
I don't know, it sounds like that actually.
Okay, fine.
That's actually what I was thinking too.
Okay, yeah, exactly. That's actually what the Rebbe says. Is that this type of avoda was what Yaakov was getting at, and that's the reason why Hashem didn't like it. is because which type is a better avoda, is more desirable? Is that we do it on our own, or we have a constant with help at the beginning, or we have a constant help from Hashem, a motivation, something hanging in front of us all the time?
Constant.
So what does the Shem want?
Which is the one Hashem wants?
The first one.
No, we did it. Yeah.
It was the
Let
beginning.
me ask you, which one? Let's say you
Wants
have
to
a person.
recognize it.
Say a person, a child is riding a bike. Okay, so you have two ways. There's the training wheels, or there's the push and ride.
Oh, I'll put it that way.
Okay, so there's the constant help. So what happens when you take when there's no parent there? Let's say. So which one of these avodas is going to last?
The training wheels.
The training wheels. No, I'm saying no parents and no training wheels. You just have a regular bike and you have a kid. Okay, afterwards. So which one's going to be the one that lasts?
The push.
Obviously, the push at the beginning, right? So the one that's pneumius, the one that you actually change yourself, that lasts, is the one that comes from you. When you put in your own effort and your avoda comes from you, so then you change yourself and you work on yourself and you refine yourself, and that's what's going to last. So he says that's why Hashem said no. Because Hashem wanted that they do it on their own, and they don't know when Mashiach is going to come. So they know when Mashiach is going to come, it's always going to be pushing them to do avoda, and it's not really from them. He wanted that they do it on their own, with the help from Hashem at the beginning.
Wait,
And
why
he
would
says
they
that also, that's the reason why, because everything that we do now is the same thing that that's going to happen when Mashiach comes. So we're going to see the results we're going to see the truth of what our avoda really is. So if we do now something that's permanent, that's true, that we do it on our own, in a pneumius way, so then also when Mashiach comes, it's going to be a geula that's forever. So it's going to also be a permanent geula. And that's why Yaakov wanted that's why Hashem said no to Yaakov, that he took away the Shekhinah from Yaakov, and he didn't reveal when Mashiach was going to come. So there he says, this is also a rah for us, is that from Yaakov we can learn that a Jew always has to be wanting to reveal the case, meaning not just to know what it is, but to actually bring it closer. Because we see that when a person has such a motivation, then they have a greater strength in their avoda. Is that when a person wants, they know that every single thing that they do matters, and that it's all, everything that they do brings Mashiach closer. Then they also, and we learn from Yaakov Avinu. Then and they have this in mind, then that will for sure help them in their serving Hashem. So you should have Mashiach soon.
Amen.
Amen.
Go ahead.